All right, so today I did about I don't know 73 miles, I guess, is the official count off of this tripper mileage of riding on the freeway. Which is really my first amount of riding on the freeway of any sustained. Oh, well, I gotta zip up my jacket. So it's my first day of really riding any like sustained amount of time or distance on the freeway on this bike. I had done some riding on the freeway on a CB 500, and that was a little harrowing to go 90 miles an hour on the freeway on a vintage bike, but I did it. This particular trip was specifically just to get practice. Right now I'm on my way back to the shop and get some work done. But today is the first day we've actually been able to get out and practice riding. For me, I didn't do any like long distance freeway riding in the fall when I first got this bike. And I didn't record while I was riding on the freeway because I assumed that you wouldn't be able to hear anything anyway. So this route is about 45 miles an hour the whole way home, so I figured you'd be able to hear something from that. But it's really interesting to me how different it feels to there we go, ride on the freeway with a windshield. We actually went to a local camping supply store just to see if I could find a good tent that would fit on my bike, or a sleeping bag that would fit on my bike, things that are compact and fit on my saddlebags, and a bag I have for the back. I didn't leave with anything but a fork and spoon and spatula set because I didn't like any of the tents that they had, but I felt like I needed to add something to my kit. I think Amanda Zitto would be proud that I'm slowly building up my cooking kit. That's one of the things I admire most about her, is her just making edible food while camping. I feel like that's something that I'm not exactly good. I mean, I'm good at cooking on like a campfire, but it's like hamburgers, and I make a pretty good scrambled egg in a cast iron skillet, but that seems too heavy to carry on a camping trip on my bike. But this is all in anticipation of me attending Babe's Ride Out in New York. So I officially bought my ticket. I am officially going. I have no idea how I'm going to be doing that. I have no idea how I'm going to get the shop set up to be able to work without me. It's not that I am the only person that can do everything. I mean, everyone has, in our team, everyone has their area. So we are a small team of about 5 people who run the shop, 3 owners and 2 mechanics. So I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to hear anything I'm saying. So it's just, you know, I need to teach someone else to do some of the things that I do on the daily basis. Anyway, so some of the things I learned on my today's first trip on a longer freeway ride is that the wind, I mean, Wind is what I had a problem with my 360 at like almost any speed over 30. So going 70, 75, sometimes 80 on the freeway did end up blowing me around a little bit, but I do feel way more confident on this bike being so much heavier, almost twice the weight, I guess. But yeah, it was interesting with the turn signals too, that I need to learn how to, I don't know, work my right hand better to do the turn signal to the right without pulling the clutch. And let me know in the comments if you pull the clutch to turn, to do your turn signal, and then just go back up in speed. I'm not really sure, because it's just not something I had to deal with really at all with my 360, because I was never going the freeway. So, and the turn signals would be just on the left side, so I could be accelerating and giving a turn signal, versus on the freeway with this bike I have to kind of like, I'm not sure if I can show it, but I need to like work my thumb over here and then also keep the throttle going, and then work my way this way and figure out how to get my hand back up this way without reducing the amount of throttle I'm giving, if that makes sense. I didn't do any recording on the freeway because I didn't think you'd be able to hear. But we went to Polaris and went to Cabela's, which I found their camping department to be kind of lacking. They had a couple of tents, but they didn't have ground covers included, so the prices weren't really that good. Their tent, or their sleeping bags, were all enormous if they had any kind of good rating. And I figure I don't want to just buy like a throwaway set of camping gear just for one trip, even if I know it's going to be in the summer, because I'd like to be able to invest in my gear kind of once and then be able to use it all the time. So something else I learned on the freeway was that I could not imagine riding on the freeway without a helmet on. Not even from the slide perspective, but from the actual ride. The sound is very loud. I think I, even with a helmet, need to have earplugs. Same thing with a jacket. I couldn't imagine riding on the freeway without a jacket on, because the wind, I mean, it's not all that warm today. It's probably, I don't know, 65. And with the wind chill, probably like 55. So I would imagine that it's probably, without a jacket on would be really cold on the freeway. Plus the wind kind of still hits you in the chest. What I also learned riding on the freeway is that I think I'll just always need to have sunglasses and earplugs in my side bag, just in case. I would have loved to have both of them on this ride. I'm not sure how that's going to kind of work with my cardio. Like, will I be able to hear? But all around, we did about 75 miles. I don't know what my tank capacity is, so I'm kind of trying to test that today as well. I think I should have 200 miles, so I have, another 80 miles or so before I need to get gas. But I want to know what that is before a long trip, so that I'm not having to get gas too often, but also not running out of gas, which has happened to me a couple of times before. So my bike has a couple of things that I'd like to get done on it before the trip as well. I think the handlebars, which I've said before, I think they need to be more upright and more straight instead of pulled back towards me. So when we went up to the next exit past Polaris is 80 Faro, or Faro Harley Davidson, and they have the more recent version of my bike, which is a Sportster 1200 low, and it has straight handlebars, which I definitely want, I think, because you can't really tell that they're back towards me. They bend back towards me, but they do, and it's very annoying. And I think I need a more comfortable seat. I mean, maybe it's just that my butt's not used to sitting in a seat like this for that long. But it's also not big enough for my butt. Like, I don't know how I could ride like a sport type bike. Those seats are definitely not wide enough. Yeah, that's also why I didn't take the freeway home, because it's now like rush hour traffic around here. So yeah, I'm skipping all of that. I felt like things were pretty slippery on the white lines that divide the highway into different lanes, and so I think I'm going to try to avoid them, just like try to ride between the two of them. I don't know if that's because I need new tires, or if I need new tires, or if it's because that's just normal and I'm not used to that, because at slower speeds I don't feel that at all. I think a lot of people have told me they think that I'll want to get forward controls back on my bike at some point, and I don't think that's true. I can really hug the tank with my knees with my mid controls, so I don't think I'll ever go to forward controls. Plus my feet are too short, or my legs are too short, I guess is the way you want to say it. So I really just need to work on how the wind affects me when I'm changing lanes. So this is the stretch of Glenwood where I lost my brakes last time. So it's really nice that those are fixed. We have a new petcock to put in it, because it's definitely still dripped, which is also why I'm worried about the fuel. Like, I'm at 120 miles. Is that my real tank capacity? Or do I need to worry about like the rate at which my petcock leaks or what? But once it's new and replaced in there, I shouldn't have any problems with that. So I should get a good 200 miles to the gallon. So Babe's ride out is 560 miles one way, taking the freeway. And it ends up being 8 hours and like 8.5 hours taking the freeway the whole time. If I took back roads, it would take 13 hours. Does not seem worth it. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it now. Honestly, I think I'm still gonna put like quite a few miles on this bike before the trip and try to make a lot of those highway miles. So thank you for joining me. I always forget to say who I am. My name is Road Warrior Moto, and see you in the next video.